She posted wondering if I should cheat since he did, for sympathy. I commented, never cheated. When her friends saw my proof she'd been lying about me to justify her affairs, the victim story collapsed. I, 31 male, discovered something that made me question everything about my 3-year relationship with Meredith. It started when her best friend Tanya sent me a screenshot 2 weeks ago. There was my girlfriend posting in some private women's support group about how she was considering revenge cheating because I'd supposedly been unfaithful with my coworker. The thing is, I've never cheated, not once, not even close. I work in IT support, mostly remote. The coworker she was referring to is Janine, who's 58, happily married with grandkids and lives 2 states away. We've met in person exactly twice at company conferences. But apparently, according to Meredith's post, I've been having this torrid affair for months. The post had over 200 comments. Women calling me trash, telling her she deserved better, encouraging her to get hers and not feel guilty about it. She was eating it up, responding to every comment with more lies about my supposed behavior. Late nights at the office, I work from home. Suspicious credit card charges for my nephew's birthday present. Being protective of my phone because it has work data on it. Tanya sent it to me because she knew something was off. She'd been at our apartment plenty of times when I was supposedly out cheating. She knew I was home. She started connecting dots I hadn't even seen yet. Here's where it gets worse. Tanya did some digging in that group. This wasn't Meredith's first post about me. She'd been building this narrative for 8 months, started small. I was emotionally distant, possibly talking to someone else, then escalated to me definitely texting another woman, then meeting up with her, then full-blown affair. Meanwhile, in real life, we were planning a vacation. I was saving for an engagement ring. She was telling me she loved me every morning and every night. I sat on this information for 3 days, just processing. Then I made my move. Update 1, holy hell, this exploded in ways I didn't expect. So after sitting on Tanya's screenshots for a few days, I decided to do my own investigation. Meredith didn't know I knew about the group, and I wanted to understand what was really happening before I confronted her. I reached out to my phone company and got detailed records for the past year. Every text, every call, time stamped and numbered. Then I pulled my work logs. Every remote session, every ticket closed, every team meeting. Created a spreadsheet cross-referencing her posts with my actual whereabouts. The nights she claimed I was with my mistress, I was either on my couch playing Xbox with my friends, who could verify through party chat logs, or literally sleeping. But here's where it got interesting. I noticed patterns in Meredith's posts. She'd post about my suspicious behavior on specific dates. I checked those dates against her own patterns. Every single time she posted about me cheating, she had been out with her book club, or at yoga retreats, or visiting her sick aunt. Her aunt lives 20 minutes away. I called her. She hadn't been sick, and Meredith hadn't visited in months. The book club? I messaged one of the members, Rachel, who I'm friendly with. There hasn't been a book club meeting in half a year. They disbanded because people got too busy. The yoga retreats the studio she supposedly went to closed down during COVID and never reopened. So while she was crafting this elaborate fiction about my infidelity online, she was lying to me about where she was going. The projection was so obvious it was almost funny. Almost. I compiled everything. Screenshots of her posts with timestamps, my phone records, my work logs, my Xbox achievements showing I was getting headshots in Call of Duty while supposedly cheating. Even had my buddy Derek send me clips from our recorded gameplay sessions with timestamps visible. Then I did something petty. I created my own account and joined the group. It was public, just set to private viewing. Anyone could join with a click. I waited for her next post. It came Thursday night. A long, emotional post about how she'd caught me texting someone and was at her breaking point. She was considering going through with revenge cheating with this guy from her gym who'd been flirting with her. 300 comments of support poured in within an hour. That's when I commented, "Interesting fiction, Meredith. I've never cheated on you. Not once. Here's proof." And I unleashed everything. The spreadsheet showing where I actually was during every supposed cheating incident. The phone records showing zero communication with any woman besides her, my mom, and work-related emails to Janine. All about server maintenance and password resets, screenshots of my Xbox achievements, even a photo of the engagement ring receipt from 2 months ago, which I'd been hiding in my desk drawer. Then I added, "But since you brought up the gym guy, maybe you should explain where you really were during those book clubs and yoga retreats. Your aunt says hi, by the way. She's feeling much better since she was never actually sick." The comment section went nuclear. Update 2. The fallout was immediate and brutal. Within minutes of my comment, Meredith called me. Not texted, called. Screaming so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. How dare I invade her privacy? How dare I embarrass her? How dare I contact her aunt? I stayed calm, told her I knew about Greg from the gym. Yeah, I knew his name because she'd slipped up once and mentioned him, then quickly corrected herself. I'd noted it but hadn't thought much of it at the time. She went quiet. Then came the tears. It's not what you think and I can explain, and those posts were just venting. I told her I was done talking and hung up. Then I texted her. You have 48 hours to get your stuff out of the apartment. I'll be staying at Derek's. Leave your tea on the counter. But Meredith wasn't done. Oh no. She went into full damage control mode. First, she made a follow-up post in the group. Claimed I was a manipulator who'd hacked her accounts. That the evidence was fake. That I was trying to gaslight her. Some people bought it. But Tanya, bless her, had been screenshotting everything for months. She started posting those screenshots in the comments. Conversations where Meredith admitted she was lying. Where she laughed about how gullible the group was. Where she straight up said she was seeing Greg, but wanted sympathy for when things went south. The group admin got involved, started fact-checking, asked Meredith for proof of MI cheating. She couldn't provide any because it didn't exist. Then something amazing happened. Another woman in the group recognized Greg's name. Turns out Greg has a fiancé. Had one the entire time he was hooking up with Meredith at the gym. This woman knew the fiancé and immediately sent her everything. Within 24 hours, Meredith had been banned from the support group. Lost most of her friends who were in that group. Been exposed to Greg's fiancé. Lost her apartment. It's my name on the lease. Lost the relationship with the one person who was actually faithful. But she wasn't done with the entitlement yet. She showed up at my work. My work. Security footage caught everything. Thank God for cameras. She marched in, found my desk, and started loudly announcing that I was a cheater and abuser. That I'd ruined her life. That I owed her money for emotional damage. My boss, who's a legend, calmly walked over and said, Ma'am, I've seen the posts. Everyone here has. We know exactly who was cheating. Please leave before I call the police. She threw my coffee mug at the wall and stormed out. I filed a police report for harassment and property damage. It was my favorite mug. Then came the flying monkeys. Her mom, who she'd been feeding lies to for months, called me every name in the book. Her sister posted on social media about how I was trash for abandoning Meredith in her time of need. Her friends who weren't in the group started blowing up my phone. So I made a public post. One single post on my social media with everything, every screenshot, every lie, every timestamp. The engagement ring receipt with the dates showing I was planning to propose while she was spinning tales about my fictional affairs. The title? The Truth About Meredith and Me? The response was immediate. Her mom called back, crying, apologizing. Her sister deleted her posts. Her friends went silent. Update 3, I thought it was over. I was wrong. Meredith escalated in ways I didn't see coming. Since she couldn't play victim anymore, she decided to go scorched earth. First, she tried to get me fired. Called my company's HR with a fake complaint about sexual harassment. Said I'd been sending inappropriate messages to female coworkers. HR investigated, of course. But remember Janine, my 58-year-old coworker? She went to bat for me hard. Showed all our correspondence. Years of completely professional exchanges about server maintenance and IT tickets. Other female coworkers came forward too, saying I'd never been anything but professional. HR concluded the complaint was fraudulent and actually sent Meredith a cease and desist letter. Then she went after my finances. Tried to claim I owed her half of everything because we'd been together 3 years and she'd contributed to the household. Her contribution? She paid for groceries sometimes and bought decorative pillows. I paid rent, utilities, internet, streaming services, and most of our dates. I had 3 years of bank statements to prove it. She actually got a lawyer. This dude called me talking about common law marriage and equitable distribution. I laughed and reminded him we don't live in a common law state. He hung up pretty quick after that. But the craziest part? She started dating Greg officially. Posted photos on Instagram of them together. Tagged at the gym, at restaurants, looking all coupley. His ex-fiancé commented on every single photo. This is the man who cheated on me with her while she was cheating on her boyfriend. Enjoy. Greg lasted exactly 1 week before he blocked Meredith and went running back to his ex. She didn't take him back. Then Meredith tried one last manipulation. She claimed she was pregnant, Posted ultrasound photos on Facebook with some caption about starting fresh and blessing from a curse. Problem was, she stole the ultrasound images from Google. A reverse image search took 2 seconds. When people called her out, she deleted everything and went private. But Tanya kept me informed. Meredith was spiraling. She'd lost her job. Apparently showing up drunk to work after Greg dumped her was the last straw. She'd moved back in with her parents. She was banned from the gym where Greg worked as a trainer. Then last week I got a text from an unknown number. This is Meredith's mom. I'm sorry for everything. We didn't know. She's getting help now. Professional help. I found journals where she admitted to everything. The cheating, the lies, all of it. You're a good man. You deserve better. I didn't respond. There was nothing to say. Final update. It's been 2 months since everything went down, and I finally feel ready to close this chapter. I kept the apartment, redecorated everything, got rid of anything that reminded me of her. Even got a new coffee mug, REP to the original. Tanya and I stayed friends. She actually introduced me to her cousin Lauren. We're taking things slow, but she's amazing, honest, funny, and get this. She thinks it's hilarious that I got achievements in Call of Duty, while my ex was crafting elaborate cheating fantasies. She actually asked to see the spreadsheet I made and called it the most beautifully petty thing she's ever seen. Meredith tried reaching out one more time last week. A long email about how sorry she was, how the attention from the group made her feel special, how she got addicted to the sympathy and just kept escalating the lies. She admitted to cheating with Greg and 2 other guys from the gym. She said she projected her guilt onto me because it was easier than facing what she was doing. She ended with asking if we could try again. I forwarded the email to her mom with just one line. She might need more therapy. Then I blocked the email address and moved on. The support group, by the way, it reformed with new moderators and a verification system. Tanya's one of the mods now. They require proof for any claims of abuse or cheating. It's actually become a genuine support space instead of an echo chamber for fiction writers. As for the engagement ring, I returned it and used the money for an epic gaming setup. Best decision ever. Looking back, the red flags were there. The constant need for attention on social media. The way she'd twist small arguments to make herself the victim. How she'd have mysterious errands but get upset if I didn't tell her exactly where I was every second. But I learned something valuable. When someone shows you who they are through their actions, believe them. Don't wait for them to spell it out in a Facebook support group. Also, always keep your receipts, literal and metaphorical. And Meredith, if you're reading this and knowing you, you probably are, Greg's engaged again. To someone else. Saw it on Instagram. She seems nice. Maybe don't try to steal this one's man while claiming yours is cheating. Actually, scratch that. Just stay in therapy. Peace out.